This fall, macro is out. Unit special abilities in Red Alert 3 are key. I'll show you a sweet special ability on one of the Allied units and a killer support power combo for the Soviets. Get ready for the release of Red Alert 3. It's just around the corner. This is Command School. You're watching Command School. I'm Greg Kasavin. Congratulations on pre-ordering your copy of Red Alert 3. And if you've ponied up for the Premier Edition, stay tuned for a supersized Command School episode detailing all 3 factions and some of their amazing units and powers. Micromanagement and unit counters are critical in Red Alert 3. Between a streamlined economy that prevents you from getting rich too quickly and effective unit counters that keep any one unit from dominating, spamming a bunch of tanks is simply not going to be viable. Plus, just about every unit in the game has at least 2 separate abilities, from infantry to ore collectors to engineers. So, when 2 tanks face off, it's not just a matter of who shoots first, but rather who uses their abilities better. To get a taste of one of these stellar special abilities, let's take a look at the Allies' Cryocopter in Casual 1. The Cryocopter is a second-tier air unit in the Allied arsenal. You'll of course need an airbase to build the unit, and you'll also need to upgrade to the second technology tier. In Red Alert 3, higher tech tiers unlock more powerful units, and the process of teching is different for each faction. As you may know, Allied construction yards and command hubs each provide a set amount of build radius that can't be expanded by placing down new structures as in previous CNC games. This radius is also how the Allies tech up. Purchase the heightened clearance upgrade from a con yard or a command hub, and all of the unit-creating structures within its radius will be teched up. Don't forget to tech up your expansion bases as well. Researching heightened clearance in your main base won't help your structures across the map. Now that you have an airbase and heightened clearance, you can build a Cryocopter, which is a support aircraft. This helicopter has no standard onboard weapons, and therefore can't take out enemy units on its own. But that doesn't mean it's not dangerous. On the contrary, the Cryocopter's abilities are pretty killer when used in conjunction with other units. For starters, the helicopter's cold beam can freeze units and structures. The target will gradually slow down until it becomes a solid block of ice. The more Cryocopters targeting an individual unit or structure, the quicker it's going to freeze. Eventually, the ice will melt away, but if any of your other units target a frozen unit or building, it'll shatter from even the slightest shotgun blast. Pretty cool, huh? For good measure, the Cryocopter has a special ability called the Shrink Beam. As the name suggests, this beam will shrink enemy units or even friendly units down to size. Use it on enemy units to make them smaller, cause less damage, have less health, and even become crushable. Or use the beam on your own units. The Shrink Beam has the side effect of making targeted units much faster. If you need to quickly cross the battlefield, shrink some of your units, then wait for them to unshrink and begin the attack. Oh, and on top of all that, the Shrink Ray makes shrunken units sound completely ridiculous. That's got to be worth something too. Now, if you prefer the Soviets, worry not, because here's a sneak peek at one of their killer combos in Casual 2. First of all, for those who don't already know, let's review how support powers, also known as top secret protocols, work in Red Alert 3. In CNC 3, players received upgrades and support powers by researching them or just building a structure. In Red Alert 3, you no longer have to worry about spending credits to get new powers. Instead, you accumulate points over time based on 3 different factors: killing enemy units, losing your own units, and just by staying alive. You'll gain points faster the more intense the combat is, especially if you're suffering some heavy casualties. Once you've accumulated one of these security points, you can cash it in for a new support power. Each faction has 3 unique ability trees and 15 support powers, so there's a lot of room for customization. You can balance out your army by picking powers from all 3 trees, or put all your effort into getting the top power in one branch. The Soviets have an awesome 1-2 combo, using the magnetic satellite and orbital drop support powers. First, use the magnetic satellite to pull enemy vehicles, including ore collectors, into space. The satellite's tractor beam is a selectable object that can be slowly moved while the power is in use. Then, use the Soviet orbital drop to rain down decommissioned satellites orbiting the Earth. And if you use it after the magnetic satellite power, vehicles that were sucked up into the sky will also fall down from space as damaging debris. This is a great area of effect anti-surface attack. And that's all I've got for you for now. Keep tuning into Command & Conquer TV at commandandconquer.com for more exclusive information and winning strats on Red Alert 3. I'll give you all the info you want to know before the game's release this fall. And be sure to check out the full-sized Command School on the Premier Edition of Red Alert 3. It's a great introduction to all three factions and their plethora of units and support powers, and it's loaded with great strategies for you to try out as you dive into the game. Dev tested, player approved. For Command & Conquer TV, I'm Greg Kasavin.